lots of changes for Boston College heading into the 2023 season, but there's lots of negative thoughts going around involving this program. How bad are things looking for BC heading into 2023? I'm going to look at the top potential for this program and the negatives on today's Locked On BC.
You are Locked On Boston College, your daily podcast on the Boston College Eagles, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on? This is Locked On Boston College. I am your host, AJ Black. I am the editor and publisher of Eagle Insider, part of the 247 Sports Network. Now, the last month has been filled with change for Boston College football, with both coordinators gone. One by choice, John McNulty heading to the unemployment line, and another, unemployment line, but now into Alabama. And another, Tem Lokabu, heading to the NFL. 8 new transfers have entered the BC realm. But still, when you talk to the fan base, there's a lot of concern about the program heading into 2023. And rightfully so. In the last 2 years, you've seen BC go 6-6. Not make a bowl game, but not make it because of COVID. And then last year, go 3-9. And so folks are still wondering, is Jeff Hafley the right choice at Boston College? And to be honest, he hasn't put more than a 6-5 record, and that was during a COVID season in place. So you have every right to question whether he can do what he says he was able to do when he was hired after Steve Addazio was fired. This leaves us with this big question of how dire is the state of Boston College football? When you look at this upcoming season, is this make or break? For Jeff Hafley, it absolutely is. I've said on this podcast multiple times that I believe that if Jeff Hafley does not go, if he is not successful this year, there will be a new head coach in 2024. And that honestly should worry you, because that means another reset. You want to be hoping that he is successful, because you don't want to have to wait another 3 or 4 years to figure out if this next coach is going to be successful. You always want the guy in front of you, whether it's Steve Addazio, Frank Spaziani, Jeff Hafley, to figure things out, because that at least means your program is heading in the right direction. But we're going to have to wait and see. As I've said on this podcast multiple times, the 2023 schedule is about as cupcake as it gets. And I know, hold on. I know it's Boston College. Nothing is cupcake. We just lost to Rutgers and UConn last year. Played like crap against Maine. Yep, get all of that. But when you avoid Clemson, when you avoid Wake Forest, when you avoid NC State, and you have an out-of-conference schedule that does not have a single Power 5 program on it, that has to be the easiest schedule BC has put together since they've joined the ACC. And I'm not afraid to say that is absolutely true. When you have you don't have Clemson on your schedule, that makes your schedule easy. That being said, you got Florida State, who's playing pretty well. But anyways, other than that, BC has to hit a slam dunk. If they are not able to win 7 games, 8 with a bowl, if they are not able to do that, what does that say about the state of the program? That says a lot. If you can't beat NIU, Army, Holy Cross, who I know a lot of BC fans I'm going to hear about for the next 6 months, BC's not going to beat them. UConn, you are in trouble. You have to win these games, folks. And that shows you where the state of this program is. Now, in terms of the coaching staff, the way things have rolled out over the last couple of weeks, is that an indictment of the state of this program? I've said all along it's not. I don't think losing a coach that you fired I mean, folks, just a month ago, if I asked you, should John McNulty and Dave DeGuglielmo be fired, you all probably would have said yes. So that should not be an indictment that Jeff Hafley did what you asked him to do. On top of that, you lost Tem Lokabou to the NFL. I get the bit of hesitation about why this is good news because he's going to become an offensive line coach, but it's still the NFL. It's still the where a lot of folks want to go, where I'm sure Jeff Hafley wants to go. So I'm not sure that is an indictment in terms of the dire state of BC football. I don't see it. And I don't see as I said on yesterday's show, I don't see the fact that we know who the offensive coordinators are going to be. It's going to be Rob Jasinski and Steve Shimko. I've told you this multiple times on this podcast. The fact that they haven't announced it to fans is crappy in terms of marketing, but is that like something that's going to kill the program? No. If they're good coaches and they can recruit and they can do what they need to on the field, who cares if there's a marketing press release that no one cares about? I mean, folks, we're ripping on BC for not announcing this offensive coordinator search hire. Or I don't even know if it was a search, the hire, because they haven't announced it to you guys. Have you read what those press releases say? Yeah, it gives you a little bit of relief that you have the guys, but it's just a bunch of nonsense. I get you you hear about it, but they've told me that they're going to be the guys that are going to be hired. Isn't that all you need to know? They have announced it in one sense. I'm assuming it's an HR thing that's making it hold up, because I've heard that they're already doing what Shimko and Jasinski need to do what they need to do. So that piece to me doesn't worry me. And in a moment, I'm going to get into what does worry me about this program. What I am still going to be like, I got to see it before I can believe it about Boston College football in 2023. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sports, official sportsbook of Locked On, every moment's matter more. FanDuel.com/Locked On to get your daily deal today. And the midway point of the NBA season is here, and now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if you don't bet, doesn't win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Then you can build on everything from the money line to point scorers and threes drained. I mean, if you want to bet on the Celtics winning the the NBA Finals, you can do that. If you're not in the state of Massachusetts, you can bet on the Eagles, who face off against the Cavs on Wednesday night. Plus, FanDuel even lets you combine your bets for a big chance at a bigger payout with a same-day game parlay. So don't miss the chance to gain your first no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com and make your bet today. So don't miss the chance to get to your no-sweat first bet at FanDuel.com/Locked On. That's FanDuel.com/Locked On to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Folks, this is Locked On BC. I'm your host, AJ Black. I am editor and publisher of Eagle Insider, part of the 247 Sports Network. I'm telling you, folks, if you love Boston College news, I am giving you top-notch access at Eagle Insider. Between my recruiting news, my breaking news posts, the community, we have a kick-butt community at Eagle Insider full of great commenters on our message boards. And we got Mitch, who does game analysis. You can sign up to get part of our premium package for the cup of coffee each month. Just go to Eagle Insider, sign up today. Just do it. I'm telling you, I have, since the beginning of this week, like 12 articles up about potential recruits coming to BC to visit that you're going to want to know about. And you're only going to know about it on Eagle Insider. I'm giving you knowledge you're not going to find anywhere else. So check that out. But BC, we're looking at where the Eagles are at. I've been asking the question, how dire is this thing at Boston College? I look in the stands. the stands are half full all the time. And I get it. I've gotten it for the last 8-9 years under Spaz and Adazio, why there's a lack of interest in this program. I don't blame the students at all. If I had to go there and I had the choice of going into the city of Boston, watching a professional sports team, or going to BC and watching a team get their butt kicked against a team that's interesting, you know what my choice is going to be. I get that. This season, will these fans come back, though? Has basketball and football put enough on the field to get that back? They haven't yet. I'm going to be honest, they haven't. Basketball is getting there, but they haven't done it yet. Football is not even close. I mean, the win against NC State was nice, but they need to do more than to do that to get the fans back. So the fan interest is a major issue for Boston College, because when you're trying to recruits talk about it all the time. The fans, the experience, the environment at these games. The students have done an excellent job of trying to pack that stadium and showing interest even when things are awful. But alumni are not. The alumni are for the most part, they have a lackadaisical attitude, and that's totally understandable. So that part is a bit dire for me, because in order to get these top level recruits to come to BC, which I honestly believe Jeff Hafley can get here, given the team starts winning, the stadium needs to be more packed. But the fans don't owe BC anything. The BC owes it to the fans to get the right product on the field, and we haven't seen that yet. We have not seen a product that demands a sellout stadium, that demands that you get in your butt a half hour before the start of kickoff. As much as Hafley and his staff complain and beg for you to get out there, they haven't done that yet. That piece is a big factor that's missing, that I feel is still a major concern about the state of this program, because fan interests, the ability to get fans into that stadium, is going to be what takes BC to that next level, to get that stadium experience, to get the recruits interested in coming to Boston College. But you got to start winning. So that's a concern in terms of the state of this program. And above this all, above everything about the state of this program, it's above Hafley. It's above the fans. It's above the team. What concerns me the most is the administration at Boston College, who have yet to show that they are committed to this school. To me, and to many fans, BC administration continues to show that BC athletics is a check that they can cash, that it's something they can take advantage of to push their academics and their admission standards. And to me, that's a major problem, because many schools in Power 5 programs are able to use their sports programs to push everything, but also they put it back into it because they know it's a moneymaker for the school. To me, BC, what they lack, what makes things dire for BC, is that it doesn't seem to understand that this moneymaker, this ACC contract that they have, is not a two-way street. It seems to me that BC thinks of it as, well, just gimme, and they don't put back. Now, to be fair, I've seen steps in the right direction. We have the Hogue Pavilion for basketball. We have the Fish Field House. We have the baseball facility. But that's one piece of it. On the other end, BC still lacks way behind in terms of how they pay their coaches, how they pay their assistants, how they pay in terms of stipends, how they view everything. So they are taking a step in the right direction, but it's still miles behind where the rest of the ACC is. And to me, that puts the state of football in a dire state of concern. Because I've told you before, and if you're listening to this, you've been to a BC football game. Tell me, just going to a BC football game? How easy is it? How user-friendly is it? How fun is it for just a random fan to just show up on campus and go to that game? It's not. Tickets are tough. Getting parking is tough. Getting tailgating is impossible. All of that just leads to the state of the program suffering, because football, college football for schools down south is just an easy situation. Like, you go to Clemson, you pay $50, you can tailgate there for the entire weekend. BC for a game, it's like $500 for a game, and then you have to get in an hour before and 3 hours, whatever it is. It's terrible. So I look at the state of just everything, more so than Hafley, more so than the state of the offensive line. I look at the entire state of BC athletics and I say, still a major piece of concern. That's a piece they still have to address, and they haven't addressed since Father Leahy has been there, and why I am really excited that there's a potential for a new president soon, because they need a new president in there that is more athletic friendly, that's more user friendly, that can get these fans on campus. Okay? I say that it's not just a Hafley issue. Hafley is a symptom of a major problem with this school. Hafley isn't the biggest problem, because if he had the support of the administration, if he had the support to get fans on campus, to make it easy, to tailgate, to support this team, it would be so much easier for his job. And I'm sure he would agree with me right now. That is why I say the state of BC football is in a dire strait, but it has nothing to do with the coaching staff right now. It has everything to do with the people behind him that need to get going to make BC an ACC level program. Whew. You guys got me going today. I'm excited, and I'm here talking BC sports. In a moment, speaking of BC athletics and where they lack, I want to talk about a potential for another athletic event that we have not yet seen at Boston College. We're going to get into that in just a moment. This is Locked On Boston College. I am your host, AJ Black. I am editor and publisher of Eagle Insider. We're talking about the dire straits. We're talking 80s rock bands here. We're talking about the dire situation of BC athletics and what they need to do to kind of push up this program. And this next situation has nothing to do with football. And it's kind of a niche situation here. Now, over the weekend, we had the Winter Classic in North Carolina. They had the Hurricanes, they played in a winter game at NC State. And what interested me, we've had Winter Classics. We had it at Foxborough a couple years ago. What interested me about this was that they had a club NC State hockey team play I think it was UNC, a club UNC hockey team that drew in 26,000 fans the day after the Winter Classic, which begs the question for me, why hasn't BC had any sort of outdoor hockey game since I've been born? I've never seen it. You could easily have a game at Alumni Stadium. I'm just spitballing here. Have Boston College and BU out under the lights of Alumni Stadium with all that outdoor atmosphere in the middle of January. I would be there in a heartbeat, because that would be so much fun. It would be unique. It would be something we haven't seen. And I think it would be a fun, new, novel experience that BC hasn't had yet. Now, why haven't they done that? Now, the first thing I think of is the Newton neighbors, because Newton seems to be the issue with literally everything at Boston College. If you hear about what they have had to get into the way. But if BC can pull the permits, get the state troopers on campus to do their, traffic stuff, I don't even care about tailgating. I'm gonna start just at the basics here. Yeah, I'd love to have tailgating there, but believe me, have you ever tried tailgating in Beacon Street? in the middle of like the winter, it stinks. But let's just say you get people on campus, you have tents, you have some fun stuff. That could be a yearly experience for Boston College that would put them above any other team in the Hockey East. BU can't offer, well, I guess they could have it at Nickerson Field, but like UMass, Lowell, all these other schools, BC's looking for something that they can kind of take that next step with. What if you had a yearly tradition where you had a yearly home hockey game at Alumni Stadium? You would get the fans there. I would be there. The students would be there. You can use alumni, which you use 7 times a year, 6 home games. I guess you use them for some lacrosse games too. But graduation, that's it. Let's use that stadium. It's there. It's there. You put the hockey rink there. You get something going, and boom, you have a new novel athletic experience that Boston College could use that no one else is using. Okay. And NFL, so football fan says NFL will choose Gillette Fenway well before college hockey. Too expensive to put up a rink just for a college game. I'm not talking about the NHL. I don't care about the NHL here. I'm talking about college hockey, getting BC hockey there. If you sold tickets to Alumni Stadium and made it more, I mean, like, what does Conti Forum hold? Like 7,000 seats, 8,000 seats? Conti Forum, Alumni Stadium can hold 40,000. If you sold what NC State just sold, you would easily pay for putting up that rink. Okay. So I don't think, I have no interest. I don't care about the NHL because it's never going to come to BC. I'm talking college hockey, which is what BC is good at. And it's something that they can build upon. So I think BC could do that. You start with a team like BU, but I mean, you could sell any team to come here. You could sell UMass. That's obviously a big one. You have a ton of UMass fans around this area that would come and pack that stadium. Northeastern, UMass Lowell, Harvard. I mean, you name it, you could get in here. That it's just some thoughts. I think BC could look outside the box here. I know that's a big ask for Boston College, but look outside the box and try to bring in something different. On tomorrow's show, we're going to recap the UVA game. We'll get into everything that happened in that game. Look at football, any news that happened there. But this is AJ Black. Thank you all. If you're not done so already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. I'll be back again tomorrow. We'll see you again soon. Take care.